Greetings everyone, my name is Gigi and this is Let's Build, wherein I build a Lego set, time to different media, and talk about the facts concerning the topic of the build. Today's build is the Lego Marvel Sanctum Sanctorum versus the game Marvel Rivals. The footage I am using for this game is for science, educational, and research purposes. My content is transformative and protected under fair use. All footage is time-lapse with commentary. Some plot spoilers for Marvel films that feature Doctor Strange, as well as some lore and plot spoilers for the Marvel Rivals game. You have been warned. Moving on to the specifications of the Lego set. Capture the magic of Doctor Strange with the stunning Lego Marvel Sanctum Sanctorum, a celebration of the master of the mystic arts, designed with adult enthusiasts in mind. A 3-story tribute to Doctor Strange. This 2,708-piece recreation of the Sanctum Sanctorum, the notorious residence of Doctor Strange, incorporates classic scenes from the Marvel Studios Avengers Infinity War and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The top story houses the Museum of Mystical Collections. The middle section contains the library, and at ground level, there are familiar features both inside and out. The set includes 9 iconic minifigures: Doctor Strange, Wong, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Ebony Maw, Master Mordo, Sinister Strange, Dead Strange, and the Scarlet Witch. A host of authentic accessories and several customizable elements which ensure this rewarding project delivers great pleasure long after the construction work has finished. A celebration of Doctor Strange. Lego Marvel Sanctum Sanctorum is a 3-story, 360-degree modular construction project for adult fans of the Marvel Universe. Iconic Marvel characters. The set includes Doctor Strange, Wong, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Ebony Maw, Master Mordo, Sinister Strange, Dead Strange, and the Scarlet Witch minifigures. Realistic details. The model is filled with familiar features and authentic accessories from the Marvel Studios Avengers Infinity War and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness movies. Lego gift for adults. This buildable display model can be given as a birthday present, holiday gift, personal treat for adult Marvel fans and model-making enthusiasts. Display piece. Measuring over 12.5 inches high, 12.5 inches wide, and 10.5 inches deep, this captivating model makes a conversation piece for any home or workplace. Customizable layout. Many of the model's walls and elements can be reconfigured to produce different action scenes. The set also is compatible with other Lego sets for adults. Immersive building experience. The set comes with high-quality printed instructions. Relax and recharge. The range of Lego sets for adults provides a rewarding build-and-play experience that lasts long after the construction work has been completed. Quality guaranteed. Lego components fulfill stringent industry quality standards to ensure that they are consistent, compatible, and connect easily over every time. Safety ensured. Lego components are dropped, heated, crushed, twisted, and analyzed to make sure they satisfy rigorous global safety standards. Inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, where all is not as it seems. Our tour of this famous mystical building begins on the top floor. Feel free to hang your cloak of levitation and browse a collection of Doctor Strange's most treasured artifacts. Down a level, pay close attention to the door, which with a skilled touch will uncover a portal to new worlds. Coming down the staircase, you'll find the iconic entrance to the Sanctum Sanctorum, alongside many recognizable features from the strange life of the Sorcerer Supreme. Building the Sanctum Sanctorum with Lego Senior Model Designer Justin Ramstead. As the designer for this set, It was my challenge to summon up a magical, mystical, modular sanctorum fit for Doctor Strange. My work began with the best kind of research, watching movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and noting down details. As the designer who worked on the previous Sanctum, the Sanctum Sanctorum Showdown, it was great to be able to revisit and rework this set and consider what new details I could include and how they might enhance the building and play experiences. We've designed it to include characters and scenes from both Marvel Studios Avenger Infinity War and Marvel Studios Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I especially enjoyed designing Doctor Strange's sling ring portals. These removable brick-built sections can be reconfigured throughout the model, allowing for multiple play and display opportunities. I also loved collaborating on this set with a great team of talented designers from all over the world. The collaborative atmosphere is one of my favorite things about my job at LEGO Group, and is way more inspiring and exciting than just building models alone at my desk. We really hope fans like you will love the model. We've put a huge amount of passion into this project, and hopefully you will enjoy building the set, be proud to have it on display, and love all the small details and awesome minifigures. Designing the Sanctum Sanctorum with LEGO designer Ashwin Vizir. As one of the 4 graphic designers on this project, it was my job to design some of the minifigures and sticker sheets which help bring the Sanctum Sanctorum to life. I spent lots of time looking at the movies to make sure that we captured the different look and feel of the different Marvel Cinematic Universe references that we have in this set. At one point in the process, we had so many ideas and references that we wanted to include, but knew that we just didn't have the space, so we had to make some tough decisions. That's not easy when we're all big fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Doctor Strange is such a great and interesting character to work with. Due to his use of magic, there's an element of the unexpected that we wanted to transfer into this set. That's why it was really great to collaborate with Justin on some of the features like the portals, and think creatively about how we can use stickers to create an exciting play function. For my next trick. A visit to the Sanctum Sanctorum rewards curious and keen eyes. We've enjoyed hiding many references to the world of Doctor Strange within this set, such as the hidden portal to Kathmandu on the roof, and a handy guide for when you get there, the photo of Doctor Strange and Wong together, X-rays that call back to his origin story, and the armchairs in which Thor and Doctor Strange shared a memorable introduction. Not to mention numerous well-hidden Infinity Stones. What other references can you find? Prepare for the magic. Ready to step through the portal into another dimension where the Sanctum Sanctorum will come together before your very eyes? Moving on to the etymology of the word. The Latin word sanctum is the neuter form of the adjective holy, and sanctorum is its genitive plural. Thus, the term Sanctum Sanctorum literally means the holy place or thing of the holy place or things, replicating in Latin the Hebrew construction for the superlative with the intended meaning of the holiest place or thing, which translates to Holy of Holies. The Sanctum Sanctorum is a fictional building appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics as the residence and headquarters of Doctor Strange. Created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the building first appeared in the Strange Tales, number 110, in July 1963. It is located at the address 177A Bleecker Street in Greenwich Village neighborhood of New York City. This is a reference to the address of an apartment once shared by the writers Roy Thomas and Gary Friedrich. The Sanctum Sanctorum has appeared in various media adaptations, including animated television series, video games, and in numerous media within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Sanctum Sanctorum first appeared with Doctor Strange in his debut in Strange Tales number 110 from July 1963, drawn by Steve Ditko. The details of the building have varied by artist, with one reviewer noting, for example, of the Marvel Premiere number 3 from July 1972, that not since the heady days of Ditko, for instance, did the Doctor's Sanctum Sanctorum appear in such scrumptious detail, laden, it seems, with the heavy odor of burning incense. In a comical turn in Strange Tales number 147, a building inspector informs Strange that he has 6 months to get the Sanctum Sanctorum repainted and make the other repairs, or the building will be condemned. It has been described as an integral part of the Doctor Strange mythos. The 2011 comic Marvel Vault, Doctor Strange, depicts the first night at Strange spent at the Sanctum Sanctorum. The Sanctum Sanctorum, also known as the New York Sanctum, is a 3-story townhouse located at 177A Bleecker Street. It is in the heart of New York City's Greenwich Village. Contrary to fan theories that this address was meant to invoke 221B Baker Street, the fictional domicile of Sherlock Holmes, it was actually a reference to the address of an apartment shared in the 1960s by Roy Thomas and Gary Friedrich. In the comics, the building was said to have been built upon a site where pagan sacrifices were performed and Native American rituals before that, and serves as a focal point of supernatural energies. It was noted that as of 2016, the location could be found on Google Maps. Architecture. The building's depiction has varied over the years, but some of the elements remain consistent. The outside looks like a townhouse, while past a veil of magical force on the inside are various rooms with various mystical artifacts. As one source put it, the building seems to have more space in its interior than its outside would suggest. Some corridors become labyrinths, and the layout and arrangement of some rooms appear to shift on their own. The house holds many powerful magical items, some of which have an innocent appearance. Some are dangerous, such as the radio, which is fatal to the touch. The basement contains storage, a furnace, and the laundry. The first floor contains living rooms, dining rooms, and the general library. The second floor holds the living quarters for Doctor Strange, Wong, and any guests that they may have. The Sanctum Sanctorum is specifically the third floor of the building, home to Strange's meditation room and occult library, where he keeps the Book of Vishanti, and his repository of ancient artifacts and objects of magical power, such as the Orb of Agamotto. The sanctum consistently has a circular skylight with 4 swooping lines. This design has stayed with the building despite the window's destruction on many occasions. The design of the window is actually the seal of Vishanti. It protects the sanctum from the most supernatural invaders. It is also the window of the worlds, or the anomaly rue. Certain members of the new Avengers appear to acknowledge this. Camistro, a supervillain member of the Hood's army, although possessing no such power to directly break that of the Vishantis, was able to change the chemical composition of the wood that held the seal to break it. In one story, Baron Mordo was able to transport the house to another dimension. The artistic directors of the Marvel Cinematic Universe film adaptation described it as a turn-of-the-century, empire, timeless, really mixture of classical and neoclassical American architecture. The residence. Its main residents, apart from Strange, have been his lover or apprentice Clea, his manservant Wong, and the apprentice sorcerer Rintra. The Sanctum Sanctorum became the headquarters for the new Avengers for a time, and have been magically disguised as an abandoned building designated as a future Starbucks cafe. The rundown disguise extends to the interior of the building as needed, undetectable by even the extremist armor of Iron Man. The building has also served as headquarters of the Defenders. Defenses? After constructing the house, Doctor Strange cast a permanent, intricate spell of mystical force to protect it. Despite this, it was seemingly destroyed in a siege by mystical forces during the Midnight Suns storyline, while various heroes such as Night Stalkers, Ghost Rider, and Johnny Blaze were hiding inside. During the War of Hulk storyline, the Sanctum was invaded by the forces of the alien Warbound and its defensive enchantments and illusions shattered by Heroim. After the use of unacceptable dark magics in the fight against the Hulk, the Sanctum is invaded by the Hood's army, who are ultimately defeated amid much damage to the building. Doctor Strange is forced to retreat when the battle allows the government-sanctioned Mighty Avengers to take over the Sanctum. Brother Voodoo is called in to neutralize the remnants of the defensive magics. On one occasion, Doctor Strange destroyed the defenses of the Sanctum to avoid their exploitation by a foe. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the New York Sanctum appears in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films Doctor Strange from 2016, Thor Ragnarok 2017, Avengers Infinity War from 2018, Avengers Endgame 2019, Spider-Man No Way Home from 2021, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 2022, and in the Disney Plus series What If from 2021, episode What If Zombies. Current owner and resident of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Dr. Stephen Vincent Strange, MD, PhD, is a master of the mystic arts. Originally a brilliant but arrogant neurosurgeon, Strange got into a car accident which resulted in his hands becoming crippled. Once Western medicine failed him, Strange embarked on a journey to Kamartaj, where he was trained by the Ancient One in the ways of magic and the multiverse. Although he focused on healing his hands, Strange was drawn into a conflict with Caecilius and the Zealots, who were working for Dormammu, and had sought to merge Earth with the Dark Dimension. Following the demise of the Ancient One and the defeat of Caecilius, Strange then became the new protector of the Sanctum Sanctorum, seeking to defend the Earth from other interdimensional threats. From his new position, Strange aided Thor in locating Odin before he learned of Thanos' attempts to gain all of the Infinity Stones and cause a universal genocide. Since Strange was the protector of the Time Stone, he was attacked and captured by Thanos' Black Order, only for him to then be rescued by Iron Man and Spider-Man. Joining forces with the Guardians of the Galaxy, Strange battled against Thanos. However, as Strange had seen into the future and knew his only path to victory, he willingly handed over the Time Stone, allowing Thanos to wipe out half of life, including Strange himself. However, Strange and all of the rest of Thanos' victims were resurrected 5 years later by the Avengers and battled against an alternate Thanos, ending in the Mad Titan's defeat. A year later, Strange offered his aid to Spider-Man, whose identity of Peter Parker was unmasked by Mysterio, as he asked Strange to make the world forget this. However, due to Parker's interference, the spell went wrong, and Strange inadvertently unleashed enemies of Spider-Man from across the multiverse. Capturing these enemies, Strange tried to use the Machina di Cadivis to send them back to their universes to meet their inevitable fates, which Spider-Man had refused to allow, hoping to give these people a chance at redemption. Having been trapped in the mirror dimension, and during a duel with Spider-Man, Strange returned and fought to contain the multiversal rift. With no other choice, Strange cast a spell to return the visitors back to their universes and close the rifts, but also at the cost of making everyone, including himself, forget Parker's existence. Being told of a new interdimensional threat, Strange came across America Chavez, While investigating these threats, Strange learned that Wanda Maximoff, who fell under the influence of Darkhold, was responsible. As Camartage fell under attack by her, Chavez sent Strange spiraling through the multiverse, where they were eventually arrested by the Illuminati. With the help of an alternate Christine Palmer, Strange and Chavez escaped, only for Maximoff to abduct Chavez, banishing Strange and Palmer to an incursion-inflicted universe. Confronting that reality's Doctor Strange, Strange claimed the Darkhold, utilizing dreamwalking in order to rescue Chavez. Helping her gain full control over her powers, the two swayed Maximoff from the Darkhold's influence, before her apparent self-sacrifice to destroy all copies of the Darkhold throughout the multiverse. In the aftermath, Strange and Wong took Chavez, who decided to stay in their universe, under their care and taught her in the mystic arts. Sometime later, Strange was confronted by Clea, a sorceress who enlisted his help in fixing a new incursion that he had caused. The minifig characters based on the MCU franchise. Wong is Dr. Stephen Strange's friend and fellow sorcerer, being a member of the Master of the Mystic Arts. He is also granted the position of Sorcerer Supreme, succeeding the Ancient One during the Blip. Anthony Edward Stark, or Tony Stark, commonly known by his alias Iron Man. Stark is initially depicted as an industrialist, genius inventor, and former playboy who is CEO of Stark Industries. Initially the chief weapons manufacturer for the U.S. military, he has a change of heart and redirects his technical knowledge into creating mechanized suits of armor, which he uses to defend the Earth. Peter Benjamin Parker, also known by his alias Spider-Man. Parker is a student at the Midtown School of Science and Technology, who received spider-like and superhuman abilities after being bitten by a radioactive spider. Parker initially uses his powers to fight crime as a vigilante in Queens, where he lives with his Aunt May. Ebony Maw is a member of Thanos' Black Order. He is not a fighter, but a dangerous thinker of the Black Order. When Thanos targeted Earth as the next planet he would raise during the Infinity storyline, Ebony Maw was dispatched to deal with Doctor Strange. Carl Amadeus Mordo, a former member of the Masters of the Mystic Arts and was a close ally to the Ancient One, assisting in recruiting and training their future sorcerers. When Mordo had encountered Stephen Strange, he invited him inside Camartage, despite the Ancient One's objections, and had later aided him with the conflict against Caecilius and the Zealots. During this battle, Mordo learned that the Ancient One drew all her power from the Dark Dimension, which was forbidden to the Masters. Dr. Stephen Vincent Strange, M.D., Ph.D., was the Sorcerer Supreme and Master of the Mystic Arts. Dejected about not being with his love interest, Christine Palmer, Sinister Strange began using Darkhold to dreamwalk through the multiverse and kill versions of himself that were not with their own Christine Palmers. The Darkhold ultimately corrupted Strange and caused an incursion that almost completely destroyed his entire universe, with him being the last citizen left alive. He came across a variant of himself who later defeated and unalived him in spellcasting combat. Dead Strange is a zombie variant of Doctor Strange. Wanda Maximoff had gradually been corrupted by the Darkhold, becoming Scarlet Witch, learning about the multiverse and that alternate real versions of her sons exist in other universes. After learning of America Chavez and her ability to freely travel the multiverse, Wanda secretly sends multidimensional creatures, including Gargantos, the monster in the portal, planning to take her powers for herself, which would end the girl, travel to an alternate reality where her sons are alive and body snatch her own counterpart. Moving on to our game. Marvel Rivals is a 2024 third-person hero shooter video game developed and published by NetEase Games in collaboration with Marvel Games. The game was released for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series XS on December 6, 2024. The game is free to play, with a current lineup of 37 characters from Marvel Comics, and features crossplay across all supported platforms. As of February 2025, the game has reached over 40 million players. Gameplay: Marvel Rivals is a 6v6 player versus player third-person superhero shooter title. With the right combination of 2 or 3 characters, players can make use of dynamic hero synergy, which further maximizes their playable characters' combat efficiency. The game also features destructible environments, allowing players to alter the battlefield, overseen by Galactica, to their advantage. There are 13 unique maps in the game as of February 2025. Modes: the game has 5 modes. Convoy: teams are randomly assigned offense or defense. As offense, the object is to escort a cart or moving object through the map by capturing it, while defender must stop the object by eliminating the offensive and recapturing it. If the offensive team escorts the convoy to the end of the map within the time limit, they win. When the attackers capture the object, it starts to move forward without the need of the respective team to stand near it. When, in case the team members do stand near it, it travels at a faster speed. After the defender recaptures the vehicle, it starts to move backwards unless any of the attackers stand near its designated area. If, in competitive mode, once the attacking team has progressed as far as they can, the roles are swapped and the other team tries to better their effort. If both teams clear all checkpoints, the game restarts with the leftover time for both teams being used for another attempt until a victor has been decided. Domination: both teams attack a single point on one of the handful of small maps. Once a point is captured, the defending team will slowly gain points until reaching 100%, on which the round ends. The mode will then jump to another small map and repeat the objective. The first team to reach 2 captured points wins. Convergence: teams will randomly be assigned offense or defense. As offense, the objective is to attack the first checkpoint on the map and secure it by standing inside. As defense, the objective is to defend the checkpoint until the match timer reaches 0. If the offense successfully captures the checkpoint in time, the mode shifts to convoy style, where the attacking team escorts a cart or moving object through the map in an attempt to reach 2 further checkpoints. Reaching the final checkpoint is considered a victory. Like convoy, in competitive, both teams attempt to set the best progress, and if both reach the final objective, further attempts are made with the remaining time. Conquest: players are divided into 2 teams. Eliminating any hero will drop points on the ground that the opponent team can pick up. The allies can also pick these up to deny the points from the opposing team. The game ends when one team gets 50 points before the other or when the timer runs out. The team with the most points before it reaches 0 is the winner. When the game ends in a tie, the teams are given another chance to score 1 or more point. A Doom match: a free-for-all death match. Up to 12 players will spawn across the map with only one goal in mind: to have the most final hits before the match ends. The game ends when the player reaches 16 final hits, and the top half of players are declared the match's winners. Quick match games are non-ranked games where players can play 3 modes: domination, convoy, and convergence. Domination is the only non-competitive mode that features multiple rounds. The premise of the game: the merciless clash between tyrannical dictator Dr. Doom and his future counterpart from the year 2099 has forced countless universes to collide in the time stream entanglement, creating new worlds and crises unknown. Now, superheroes and villains from across the multiverse must fight together and against one another as disparate groups, each seek to best both dooms before one achieves domination of these realities. Familiar faces become newfound foes, while former enemies become the greatest of allies in Marvel Rivals. Playable characters. As of February 2025, 37 playable characters have been officially announced. Guang Chen, the game's creative director, said that they wanted to have a character roster ranging from lesser-known characters to fan favorites, saying about the design process that when it comes to designing characters in our game, we usually dive really deep into the background and personality of each Marvel character, so every character's gameplay mechanic and skill is really crafted to reflect who these characters really are in the comics. Playable characters are divided into three main roles: Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist. Vanguard heroes function like tanks, possessing large health pools and mitigating abilities to increase their survivability. Duelist heroes play an offensive role, designed to deal maximum damage and secure kills. Strategist heroes can assist and support their teammates by healing, increasing damage, and other utility abilities. Each character has a set of active and passive skills based on their comic book characters, along with a primary attack. Active skills, once used, typically have a short cooldown timer before they can be used again. Further, each character has a unique ultimate ability, which requires the player, to wait for an ultimate charge meter to build up over time or by engaging in combat. Unique to Rivals is the idea of team-ups, where specific characters, if paired with others, can provide an additional active or passive ability. For example, if Wolverine and the Hulk were selected on the same team, the Hulk is able to throw Wolverine toward foes as a fastball special. The game does not require players into a role queue, which otherwise would require a specific blend of heroes on a team. Creative director Guanyang Chen said this was to offer a wider variety of team composition through team-up skills and their own designs, as well as to allow players to use team-up abilities without restrictions. The current list of playable characters in the game currently include the Vanguards as Bruce Banner or the Hulk, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Groot, Magneto, Penny Parker, The Thing, Thor, and Venom. The Duelists include Black Panther, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hela, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Magic, Mr. Fantastic, Moon Knight, Namor, Psylocke, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, Star-Lord, Storm, the Punisher, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine. Strategists: Adam Warlock, Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, Jeff the Land Shark, Loki, Luna Snow, Mantis, and Rocket Raccoon. Many of the characters, in addition to other cosmetic skins, have unlockable or purchasable cosmetics based on alternative takes of these characters from their respective comic book series or Marvel Cinematic Universe appearances. The maps. Marvel Rivals currently features 6 confirmed playable maps set in 6 distinct locations: Tokyo 2099, Ixgard, Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Clintar, the Hydra Charteris base, and finally New York City. For Tokyo 2099, Tokyo 2099 serves as a dynamic map where players engage in thrilling battles. This cyberpunk-inspired location features a high-tech environment where heroes and villains can make their mark. Players are tasked Players are tasked with protecting a young spider hero or maintaining the Great Web while navigating the futuristic cityscape. The map provides opportunities for environmental destruction, allowing players to use their powers to alter the battlefield significantly. For example, they can tear down walls, collapse buildings, or create shortcuts, adding a strategic layer into combat. This setting is part of the game's broader effort to bring iconic Marvel locations to life in exciting and interactive ways. A new world has emerged from the time stream entanglement. After a nature walk, enjoying some ramen and sushi in Tokyo of 2099, it's amazing that these foods still taste as they did in the past. Unfortunately, the city no longer hosts kaiju or giant robots. Instead, megacorporations like Alchemex now dominate Shin Shibuya, forcing even superheroes to operate in the shadows. However, a massive rift in the web of life and destiny threatens to unravel the multiverse. With great power comes great responsibility, and it's up to the web warriors to protect Tokyo 2099. Hopefully, they find allies to help, as their neighborhood has expanded significantly. Tokyo 2099, Shin Shibuya. From an island he's suspended above Tokyo, the enigmatic Master Weaver plans to use the energy from a temporal rift created by the time stream entanglement to strengthen the web of life and destiny. His disciple, Spider Zero, has concerns about her master's actions and is leading an effort to snitch the rift closed for good. The Master Weaver doesn't handle disobedience well, so he banished Spider Zero from the Spider Islands. Still, Zero's ready to do whatever it takes to save the day and earn back her rightful spot on the web. Ixgard. Players can explore Ixgard, a transformed version of Asgard reshaped by the World Tree. In this map, players will vie for control of key locations like Jabborn and Odin's royal palace and throne room. Beneath the vast canopy of the World Tree, Yggdrasil, lies the golden realm of Asgard, now intertwined with its roots and flora. The once prosperous kingdom faces a threat from Loki, the god of mischief, whose schemes endanger the peace of this realm and all of the 10 realms. Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. When the time stream entanglement enwrapped this intergalactic empire of Wakanda, mysterious anomalies arose within the home planet of Vibranium. Simultaneously, the spirit realm, Djala, began to merge with the Burn-in T'Challa city of Wakanda in the physical world. Princess Shuri and her Wakandan science team relentlessly research the effects of chronovium on vibranium, while also collaborating with heroes from other timelines on their time stream reintegration device. Meanwhile, King T'Challa seeks to liberate the spirit of Bast, ensnared within this new chrono-vibranium, to restore the Hall of Djala and combat the ominous threat of encroaching darkness. The Hall of Djala. Despite being regarded as a betrayer of the Wakandans, Kili Luna chose to speak to T'Challa and, in Bast's absence, warning him of impending ruin. She stated that the darkness had already poisoned the Orisha. While contemplating against Kali Luna, T'Challa had spoken to the goddess Bast. Later, while Bast spoke with him, the sky began to fade. T'Challa instinctively looked up toward the Hall of Djalia, where strands of dark energy protected the sacred pinnacle. He wasn't sure if this was another side effect of the time stream entanglement, or the first traces of a sinister presence to which Kali Luna had alluded, but T'Challa knew that he didn't have time to waste in either case. The fate of the Empire rested on his quick reaction. This darkness approaching likely belonged to the Black in this darkness approaching likely belongs to the King in Black, Null. King T'Challa strives to free Bast's spirit, which is trapped within this new chrono-vibranium, in order to restore the Hall of Djalia and combat the looming menace of Null's darkness. To ward against the approaching darkness, the statue of Bast must be freed from her solid form and approach the Hall of Djalia, where the spirit will cast out the darkness that is engulfing Wakanda. The conclusion of events? If the attackers win in-game, they are able to transport Bast's freed statue at the Hall of Worship's meditation chamber, where the spirit growls fiercely over all of Wakanda, dispelling the approaching darkness and revealing the goddess, Kaliluna's grin. If the defenders win in-game, Black Panther kneels in front of the pinnacles of Wakanda's empire, devoured by Null's power, while Bast's spirit behind him remained sealed inside the chrono-vibranium statue, wailing to cast out the darkness. Clintar. Commissioned by Shuri, the Guardians of the Galaxy set out from Wakanda to investigate the dark force corrupting Bast and the other Orishia. Their destination, the mysterious symbiotic prison turned living planet Clintar. The agent of the cosmos channeled the immeasurable cosmic power of the orbiting dead celestial to calm the densely populated planet of symbiotes, its very codex remaining active to this day. Yet beneath the surface stirs the essence of their dark god imprisoned within the world's core, powerful enough to destroy the entire planet and free Null. Now trapped on Clintar, the Guardians of the Galaxy must confront the lethal protector and use the essence to burrow into the world before the King in Black awakens. Hydra, Charteris Base. The time stream entanglement has disrupted the timelines at Earth's two poles, resulting in the appearance of the mysterious Chronovium at Hell's Heaven in the South Pole. Hydra lurks quietly beneath the ice, brewing a doomsday plan that would overturn the entire world. To create the ultimate super soldiers and dominate every timeline, they tirelessly mine this ore from the deepest sections of their hollowed Charteris base. But Hydra will not stop at simple time stream conquest. They are now exploring a higher power. Behind a dark and ancient portal, an evil that threatens the entire multiverse awakens. Empire of Eternal Night, New York. Once the Darkhold's pages were scattered, Dracula deployed all forces at his disposal, seeking but a single page, the vampiric verses. Meanwhile, the heroes of New York heatedly argued about whether or not they should harness the power of the Montesi formula to destroy their foes. Mr. Fantastic and his robot assistant, Herbie, agreed that they needed to locate the formula first so that their opponents could not put it to use. Midtown location. Set during a rising blood moon in Manhattan, New York City, after Dracula and his army of vampires conquered the city using the power of the Darkhold, he then established his gigantic fortified castle in Central Park, taking Blade and Ratatasker as prisoners for attempting to foil his plans. Knowing her furry friends were in grave danger, Squirrel Girl sought the help of one of the most brilliant minds in the universe, Mr. Fantastic. With his help, she hoped to free her new ally, the Asgardian squirrel god, Ratatasker, who had been imprisoned in Central Park by Dracula. Ratatasker's horn, carved from the branches of Yggdrasil itself, might be the only thing sharp enough to pierce the mystical barrier protecting Dracula's castle. Central Park location. Darkness engulfs New York as the time stream entanglement leaves Doctor Strange trapped in the entangled astral plane, scattering the Darkhold pages. Dracula and Doctor Doom disrupt the moon's orbit, which makes Khonshu take action. The fight plunges the city into eternal night and unleashing an army of vampiric creatures. The vampires have forcefully overrun New York, prompting a number of heroes to take action against the undead. Some known heroes are Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Moon Knight, Spider-Man, Blade, Cloak and Dagger. Midtown. After the events at the Sanctum Sanctorum, the pages of the Darkhold were scattered during an ongoing invasion of New York by Count Dracula and his vampiric army. Meanwhile, the city has been heavily swarmed by vampires, and the citizens have been severely impacted, becoming vampires themselves. Several heroes, including Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and Moon Knight, meet at the Baxter Building to devise a plan to stop the vampires. They intend to deploy the Montesi formula, an incantation from the Darkhold capable of eliminating vampires. This causes an argument amongst the heroes, with Iron Man and Moon Knight, along with Khonshu, intending to use the Montesi formula to completely eliminate all remaining vampires. While Mr. Fantastic, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange disagree with their method, as there is a potential that those who have been transformed into vampires will be saved. When their meeting ends, Tony launches his Stark Sentinel to locate the lost pages, but is ambushed by a swarm of vampire bats and crashes into Grand Central Terminal. While Reed's plan to use his Herbie and the other Fantasticar to locate and collect all of the Darkhold's pages so that they can use them in their own way before their opponents do. Herbie must travel to the Avengers Tower to upload the data, which reveals the dispersed pages. Conclusion: if the attackers win in-game, Herbie has been able to reach the Avengers Tower and has successfully implanted the data, restoring the Avengers Tower logo to its original position and revealing all of the Darkhold's pages with the assistance of Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch's magic. If the defenders win in-game, Moon Knight successfully stops Herbie and destroys the Fantasticar, thereby preventing their attempt to locate the lost pages. The Sanctum Sanctorum. The Darkhold contains two powerful spells that have aroused interest in opposing forces. The vampiric verses can create creatures of the night, while the Montesi formula can eliminate them. To keep the Darkhold out of the wrong hands, Doctor Strange hid the accursed tome in a place where even he could not find it. And when eternal night fell over New York, the Doctor himself became lost in time and space as well. Central Park. As the eternal night continues in New York, several heroes are struggling against Count Dracula and his massive army of vampires. Dracula has already built his own enormous castle in the heart of Manhattan's Central Park and has taken certain prisoners, including Blade, a half-vampire, and Ratatoskr, the squirrel goddess of Yggdrasil. Now, Dracula is performing an ominous ritual in his castle utilizing the Darkhold, which will result in a dreadful outcome once completed. One of the heroes who battle against the vampires is Squirrel Girl, who seeks the help of Mr. Fantastic, who also searched ways to stop the vampires, as Squirrel Girl's own home and her squirrel friends were also affected during these events. Mr. Fantastic agrees to help Squirrel Girl in retrieving her ally Ratatoskr, as Ratataskr's horn, crafted from the branches of Yggdrasil, is capable to break the supernatural barrier surrounding Dracula's castle. Meanwhile, Moon Knight, together with Khonshu, and Iron Man want to push on Central Park in order to stop Dracula and utilize the Darkhold to start the Montesi formula, which fully eliminates all vampires. Conclusion: if the attackers win in-game, Squirrel Girl and the released Ratatasker were able to destroy the castle barrier and stop Dracula's Darkhold ritual, leading to his fall and the return to daylight. If the defenders win in-game, Moon Knight and Iron Man successfully prevent Ratatasker going to Dracula and defeat him on their own, leading to the use of the Darkhold's Montesi formula, destroying all vampires, but the blood moon remains rising over the city. Development: Marvel Games partnered with NetEase Games to develop a team-based PvP hero shooter game. NetEase Games is mainly responsible for the design and development of gameplay content, while Marvel Games has a supervisory role ensuring the content conforms to the tone of the Marvel brand and intellectual property. NetEase Games' development team for Marvel Rivals, based in Guangzhou, is led by lead producer Wang Wu and creative director Guangyong Shen. The game is built on Unreal Engine 5. Marvel Games senior producer Danny Koo characterized Marvel Rivals visually as a blend of Eastern and Western art styles. Each session is preceded by a planning process for that season's content. The developers first plan the theme of the season and then consider the new kind of experiences they want to bring to the players for that season, which serves as the basis to evaluate what kind of heroes are more suitable. At the same time, they consider what new gameplay may appear and the corresponding new level maps. While the development team has experimented with additional gameplay modes, there were no current plans to introduce a player versus environment game mode as of February 2025 release. Marvel Games first announced the game through a trailer released on March 27, 2024. On November 30th, 2024, less than a week before the game's release, the launch trailer for the game was released, showcasing 5 new playable heroes that would be added upon launch. Marvel Rivals is a free-to-play from its initial release. Though the game was set to release for Windows via Steam and Epic Games, NetEase Games had stated that it is exploring potential releases on other platforms. During Sony's State of Play held in May, the game was revealed to also be released for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS, as well as its upcoming beta playtest. On November 16, 2024, it was confirmed that Marvel Rivals features an option to select between English, Japanese, or Mandarin voice-overs at a launch date. Marvel Rivals was released on November 6, 2024. Thaddeus Sasser, a director of NetEase Games' Seattle-based design team, stated that there is a switching cost in which players who are invested in one game are less willing to move to other games. He contrasted the success of the Marvel Rivals release with the commercial failure of hero shooter Concord released the same year, attributing the latter's underperformance to it not providing unique value to overcome its consideration. In February 2025, NetEase laid off their Seattle-based design team, including director Sasser. This team reportedly comprised 6 people. Kotaku reported that the size and location of the teams that worked on the hero shooter have been hard to pin down, and it's not immediately clear what the extent of the teams impacted were and why. NetEase said in a response to the closure that they recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals' development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. With work still ongoing by their Guangzhou-based core development team. Tie-in media. Marvel Rivals Infinity Comic from 2024 is a 6-issue digital limited series by writer Paul Allor and artist Luca Claretti. It was published by Marvel Comics as part of their Infinity Comics program on Marvel Unlimited. A new game mode inspired by Marvel Rivals was also added to the tabletop Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Additionally, a Marvel Rivals themed glider for use in the Fortnite Battle Royale was made available via playing challenges in Marvel Rivals and linking an Epic Games account to receive it. Furthermore, a skin based on Doctor Doom 2099 was made available for use in Fortnite, with a LEGO-style use in LEGO Fortnite experiences. Reception. Marvel Rivals received mixed or average reviews for the PC version and generally favorable reviews for the PlayStation 5 version, according to the review aggregator website Metacritic. Marvel Rivals has been praised for its monetization model, which does not involve pay-to-win elements. All gameplay elements such as heroes are free, and time limits on purchased battle passes. Game Rant mentions the introduction of a vote to surrender feature in Rivals that sparked debate within the player community. This feature allows teams to end matches early if a majority agrees. Supporters argued that it helps avoid frustrating, unwinnable situations, particularly during connectivity issues or unbalanced matches. Critics, however, feared it might foster a defeatist attitude and disrupt team dynamics, potentially leading to increased negativity and premature match endings. This was the first time playing Marvel Rivals. Playing the game in Quick Match and the practice mode, the controls are responsive and the movesets are interesting and have fun visuals for the characters that I am familiar with. In between some matches, I was trying to correct some screen tearing that I was experiencing by changing the screen settings. While I was able to correct the issue and continue to play, my recording software did not like that I changed it and only recorded the audio from that point onwards. So I lost about an hour and a half of gameplay and had to re-record. I'm also using a new fuzzy pop filter to see if I can eliminate some of those mouth sounds that I've been hearing from earlier videos. Total build time today was 5 hours, 27 minutes, and 4 seconds. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, all the things for the YouTubes. Thank you.